Hi, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising. I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. I am a soul therapist and an intuitive that connects with the angelic energy, and I help the helpers, the healers, and the light bringers of this world to live their most magical life. So if that's you, make sure you hit the subscribe button below with the bell so you can get notifications for all the videos that I'm sharing here on this channel. So we're going to dive into your month of March 2021. What do you need to know? What messages do the angels have for you? And how can you best navigate this month? And when I tapped into the energy of this month, whew, like holy moly, it's going to be quite a month for a Taurus. I'm a Taurus too, so I was pretty excited, honestly, about the energy that I saw around this month. I think that we're going to be kind of all over the place with things. We're going to be busy. We're going to be working on things. We're going to have a lot of success with things. Like I said, quite a month, but there's a lot of good coming in. There's a lot of learning that's happening. And so let's start with just this feeling that I have about some things moving forward. Okay, so I feel like there are things that we have had, that certain circumstances where you have wanted it to move forward in some way. Maybe you wanted a particular outcome, or you've just wanted something to move forward. It's an area that you have felt incredibly stuck with. I almost feel like I want to say, because I see this in my mind, like I see myself saying, I feel like God doesn't want this for me, or God doesn't want to help me with this, or why won't God help me with this, you know? So there's like a certain level of frustration, or why am I so blocked in this area? Why is this happening? And so I feel like this is the kind of thing that we've thought, or that we've said out loud around these particular situations. And I just see forward movement this month. I see that finally moving forward. And in some cases, that's going to be divine timing, simply divine timing. But I also feel like there are some choices that we are making and that we have been making that just really help to move the energy forward. So I want you to also recognize the shifts that you've been making, the ways that you've been approaching things differently, even the changes that you've made to patterns, habits, that kind of stuff, that even if it doesn't even feel connected to this situation, has really, really helped to move the energy forward. Because that's really the way. When you start to say, you know what, I'm going to do better for myself, I'm going to take better care of myself, I'm going to handle this situation better, I'm going to perceive things from a better perspective, whatever it is that you decided, like a better way of doing things, and you have committed this to yourself, and you have really started to implement this, understand that you are responsible for moving this energy forward. And it's going to happen. It's going to move forward. And I feel like if it's not the full manifestation of this, you're really going to see the beginning signs of this. Like I keep seeing a foundation, right? And it's like you've been trying to build this foundation forever, this foundation that you want to build the rest of your dreams upon, the rest of the things that you want to manifest upon. And for whatever reason, that hasn't been happening for you. And I see it beginning to happen. It's like I see you kind of building that foundation, whether it's a foundation in a relationship, whether it's a foundation in a situation, whatever that is for you, it's like you're building it. And what's coming with that is abundance, is happiness, is joy, is just feeling contented. And I feel like you're looking at this energetic foundation, or the things that you're actually doing, and you're taking a step back and you're going, holy shit, this is finally happening for me. This is finally working. I'm finally moving forward with this. And there's such joy in that. There's such happiness. And so like to me, it's like the beginning of a pretty major leveling up. For Taurus, I just feel like we're going to have a fantastic year overall. It doesn't mean we won't have challenges, but I just see a lot of success coming. And this is like the beginning of that success. And what's interesting to me is what I see it's like building the foundation, and then really quickly, other things move forward. It's like some of these things that you have been calling in, all of a sudden it's like boom, 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 like one thing after another after another. So something that you've been waiting on for a long time, and then all of a sudden a lot of things happen all at once or all back to back that move forward quickly, and that like it's almost like a whirlwind comes in and you're like, what happened? How did this happen? I'm so grateful for it. I'm so happy for it, but how did this happen? And what do I do with it? And I almost feel like you don't know what to do with it. We don't know what to do with it because like events are just happening at such a fast pace, and like there are not delays here with this anymore. And it's so different from the way that things have been for you, and it has felt so stuck that it's like, oh my gosh, like this is actually truly happening. And there's a part of us that maybe didn't even believe that it was going to happen, but here it is. And we're seeing the evidence that we're creating this foundation and that things are beginning to move forward, and they're moving forward quickly. So your job is also to not get too overwhelmed or to not shut down the energy of that, because you know, like you got what you asked for, and it's moving forward, and it feels like a positive thing. It doesn't feel like a negative thing, it feels like a positive thing, but it feels like it's moving forward quickly. And it's like I think you're going to have to be really mindful about. I see like some different things tugging at you, some different things, and some things are important and some things aren't, right? So like, what are your priorities? What's important to you? And what do you feel that you need to put your time and your energy into? I can give an example from my own life. Is I felt like in some ways, not that I'm not doing my work, not that I'm not giving my attention to my business, but I haven't felt like in 2020, I didn't feel like I gave it the kind of attention that it needed. I didn't make it the priority that it needed to be. And now I'm here in 2021, like, nope, we're going to do this thing and we're going to really focus our energy on this. And so as I'm seeing things show up in my life that could potentially serve as a distraction, and maybe in some ways have, I'm trying to catch that sooner and I'm trying to redirect it. And I feel like that's very much the energy of like, let's just redirect that. Let's not let ourselves be distracted with putting our energy into people or circumstances or things that we're feeling that we should do that just aren't in alignment with what is really best for us and what's most important here, and what do you need to be putting your energy on. And especially like whatever that is with like the foundation that you're creating, that's really important right now. And wherever you're being pulled in terms of the work that you're doing or the things that you're working on, the things that you're creating, the things that you're wanting to build for yourself in your life, that's really key. Because if you can put your energy into that, I just see a lot of amazing abundance coming into your experience. And it might be, you know, like self-care. I know I've felt really called to pay more attention to balancing myself and to really making sure that I'm making my mind, body, and soul my priority, you know, that I'm putting a lot of energy into that. So maybe it's you, maybe it's yourself. And the more that you invest in yourself or your self-care, you're going to see outside of that the benefits of that, you know, in many different ways. You're going to see the energy shift. You're going to see things manifest for you that you've been waiting on for a long time. So again, getting clear on your priorities. I also want to make sure that like in terms of distractions, that you're not so distracted with certain things in your life that you're totally missing these opportunities that are coming in. Sometimes when we actually have the manifestation of the things that we want, we can actually miss it because number one, either it's not arriving into our experience in the way that we expected it to, or number two, because we're distracted. And I feel like there's a lot of energy on like we're so focused on it having to be this way, or we're so focused on something over here that we're not even recognizing that we're being given a gift and that it's arriving into our experience. And so we want to make sure that we are keeping an eye out for the gifts that are arriving and for the positive things, and that you're not like minimizing that or limiting yourself when something arrives into your experience that like appears to be different from what it is that you manifested. Because sometimes it's a matter of trusting in your higher power. Sometimes it's a matter in trusting that the divine really knows what's best for you or the best path to get you from where you are to where you want to be. And so you have to allow it and you have to trust it. Like there has to be a certain level of trust and a certain level of openness. And if you're trying to control the vision of something too much, I have found that I get reminders from the universe, like, nope, this is not going to arrive in that way. And you need to allow it to arrive in other ways and understand that ultimately the divine knows what's best for you and knows how the easiest, simplest path from point A to point B. And so can we just let ourselves be guided? Can we just trust that this is going to happen for us? And so being mindful that you're not like, oh, well, this is what I wanted to manifest, and I see maybe that this is a form of that manifestation over here, but I'm not going to be grateful for this because I insist that it's this way, right? And it doesn't work that way. You've got to let that go, and you've got to recognize the gifts as they're coming in and trust that if this is coming in and this is not, that's for your highest and best good. And so speaking of that, I feel very much like, there's been something that you've been very frustrated about that has not manifested. And I also feel like there's something that you've been frustrated about that you've wanted to let go of, that you've struggled to let go of, that you're finally ready to let go of. You're finally ready to move forward, to release it, to step into the next phase of things. And it's like, in order to build this foundation that you're wanting to build, you have to let go. You have to release this baggage. And there's something that you need to let go of. There's something that you need to change in your life, but you have continued with that habit or that relationship or or that way of speaking to yourself or whatever this is. It feels like it's something you're totally aware of and have struggled with, and you've said, nope, okay, I'm gonna let that go this month, right? You're gonna let that go this month. This is the month to do it, and it's really important. And I think that you're gonna find a lot of success in that, but it's really about getting real with yourself and asking yourself, what truth do I need to understand here? What truth have I been ignoring because it's an inconvenient truth? Where is there an inconvenient truth in my life that I've been pushing away, but now it's time for me to take a look at? Because that's the key to letting this go, is to admit the truth to yourself. To understand that once you admit that truth, that it will be so much easier to let that go. It's so much easier to release it. Or if you didn't make the decision to let this go, it's like you admit this truth, you understand this truth, and it sets you free from holding on to something that has you have been released from or has let you go. I also keep hearing the word mistakes, okay? And I feel like there's something coming up for us where we're focusing on some mistakes that we've made, or where we have we perceive some level of failure. And this message is very much about understanding that there aren't really mistakes. They're simply learning experiences. And by the way, a lot of the mistakes that we make are things that we intended for ourselves to make mistakes on. They're lessons that we intended for ourselves to learn. And yes, can we be successful with some of our lessons earlier on to save ourselves some pain and some hardships? Absolutely. But so often we have to have those experiences. And so instead of focusing on, I made this mistake, or it was a mistake to do this, or whatever that is for you, instead of focusing on that, I want you to redirect that and say, what did I learn through this experience? Learn the lesson and let the rest go. You are not serving yourself. You are not helping yourself by staying focused on this. And I think that if you can release that, that's an important part of this release. I see also there's this pushing of ourselves. We're pushing ourselves to the next level, right? There is a leveling up, but it's almost even a physical pushing ourselves. So for those of you who are working on your physical fitness. Like there's a leveling up almost with that, or pushing yourself physically in some way. Like maybe you're pushing yourself in terms of the level at which you're going after your goals, the level at which you're going after the things that you want. But there is like this energy of us pushing ourselves, and we want to make sure that we do that. This is not going to be, well, I want to say it's not going to be a month to rest, but it is kind of, because I do also feel like we want to make sure that we have that perfect balance, right? So it's like when I'm active, when I'm going for it, I'm going hard. I'm going all the way, and I'm focused. I'm focused on my goals. I'm focused on working on the things that I need to be doing. This is what we're doing. And then when we stop with that, there needs to be this period of pulling back, of almost like that hermit energy in tarot, where we're taking some time back, we're taking some time for self-reflection, and that is going to be the key in allowing you the balance. Because like I said, a lot is going to be moving quickly, and you're going to have to engage, you're going to have to be in it, but you also, when you disengage, when you pull back, in order to give yourself that balance, you're going to need to spend more time in meditation, reflection, just spending time in your own energy. You are absolutely going to need that balance this month. But man, it is successful, it is exciting, and I see us doing some really great work here in this month. So that is your March of 2021. If you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like button below. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure that you do that as well. If you want to learn more about me or about clarity, you can check me out at discoveryourawakening.com. I will see you guys soon with another video. Take care, guys.